So, Nintendo finally revealed the Switch 2 back in January, and not to mention that this somewhat new console that's meant to be the successor for the Switch has been revealed. And it turns out, after watching there's a bunch of new details that the original Switch doesn't do. One of them, of course, being, one, the Joy-Cons themselves no longer have the drifting, and they can be dragged around on the table like a mouse pad, similar to like a computer mouse. Another thing to notice is that how the Switch 2 could also be backwards compatible with Switch 1 games. So it's pretty much going to be the similar thing to what they did with the Nintendo Wii being backwards compatible with the GameCube, and the 3DS compatible with the DS. And I think the same thing even applies to the original DS with compatible to the Game Boy Advance titles. But it says that there won't be specific Switch 1 games that won't be compatible with the Switch 2, and I think Labo is one of them. In other words, we're meant to be getting a Direct by April, and besides, this is in March. I guess it's most exciting to know some things. I'm not really interested for it, but maybe you could wait for another few years until any new content arrives in the process. But anyways, hey guys, and welcome to the newest discussion here. And it's been a long time since I've done something like this before. However, before we start, I want to give a quick moment of time to notice, and also with the revealing of new Thomas 80th anniversary merchandising that just came out. And my goodness, it's amazing how when I uploaded that 80th anniversary predictions video, it got 1,000 views, and some YouTubers featured my particular video thumbnail on their videos, and it's amazing. And even though I had no hope for this, but when merchandising stuff like this came out, okay, this is actually a sign. This is a sign that we could be getting something great for the 80th anniversary. Judging by these merchandising models, we get special minis, which of course looks amazing. Then we get a new piece of wooden railway, even though it remains the same. Bachman is still the same, but these three right here. This one in particularly being inspiration with the take-along, push-along things that where we are right now has a massive upgrade. They look like a fusion of take-along and Erdl at the same time, just because of the axle rods and even the little features that are detailed on here. As for Playrail, this is amazing. This Playrail book series accurate Thomas, along with Danny and Clarabelle, that is amazing. It looks so cool, and I could really use that. It could really work well for a future, whoever wants to make future remix on it. This one, however, is a big upgrade. This is like really as accurate to the CGI model as we know, as we could see by the CGI face. And of course, Toy Fair also revealed more characters in addition to the push-alongs, that there will be future characters, like James, Gordon, Percy, Nia, Duck. That is the rarest character to ever see in a marketplace, because Duck has only appeared rarely on a Ptolemy Trackmaster lineup, and Oliver has rarely gotten anything other than just appear as a rare character in eBay sellers all around the world for no reason. This is going to change everything. That's as far as I know. But aside from good things, come down with the bad ones. And it's unfortunate that legendary Britt Ockcroft, creator of the TV series, unfortunately died within the start of 2025, which, rest in peace. And thank you. I just want to give a big thanks to Britt Ockcroft for creating such an amazing show throughout the classic era of the show from where we are right now. Honestly, when it came to an iconic show like this, it was the greatest, especially when you made the most greatest episodes on that particular TV show. There were some good episodes, specific seasons, and even the ones that just don't seem bad. I guess we'll also count the hit era, and this, it's just amazing. Thank you, Britt Ockcroft, for creating my childhood. But aside from the Thomas stuff, today we're talking about Mario, because it's also Mario's 40th anniversary, where it's also the year of Mario as well. Since last year, or 5 years ago in 2020, we had the 35th Mario anniversary, and from that anniversary, we haven't gotten that much really. We got Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, the Super Mario 3D All-Stars, and a bunch of special Mario-themed events for Smash Bros. And Splatoon 2, a Game & Watch for Mario, some new merchandising at the Nintendo Store, and a bunch of other cool things about it, Super Mario Bros. 35, and so many other cool things Mario-related. But that's of right now. Nothing new has actually happened right now. But the Mario 40th anniversary could secretly change everything from what we know of the iconic Plumber Man today. And one of the cool things, when the Switch 2 trailer revealed, we're also getting a new Mario Kart in the process. Many people are speculating and debating on what this new Mario Kart game could be called. Some speculate it will be Mario Kart 9, others say Mario Kart 10, and the others say Mario Kart X because it's like the 10th Mario Kart title in the series. Others call it the 9th series because it's based on the mainline Mario Kart series. Some say Tour is canonically Mario Kart 9 because it's a mobile Mario Kart game, although some say it isn't, and we're talking mainline as in like console, handheld, and this is like the 9th or 10th, whatever this is going to be. They were just going to get out of the way. But as you can see here, there's going to be a total of 24 racers. Judging by this lap count of how many players are going to be, the online is going to be insane as far as I'm aware of. And when it was revealed, it's also noticed that I think this is their new idea for this new Mario Kart, because it has changed throughout the themes. Double Dash had 2 players, Mario Kart DS had mission mode, and along with the reveal of retro tracks. Even though Mario Kart Super Circuit was the first entry to reveal retro tracks, but it was the worst entry, so DS was a better option for that section. And also, online was also the start off, and same thing. Mario Kart Wii introduced bicycles, Mario Kart 7 introduced car customization and gliding, and Mario Kart 8 gave us the ability of custom items specifically. Was a big change, because I know many fans in the Mario community created hacks of creating custom sets of items of what to have, and they finally put that in the game, and I think that's going to be a new feature. But when it came to the newest one, something really changed, where some speculate that there was a secret item at the specific stage at the new track, where there's this random item that it could be some say it's a wonder seed, some say it's a new power-up, some say that the game could rely on gas ability, where you have to rely on gas in order to get secret boost pads or something. I don't know what it could do for this new feature, but it's something very unique of what they're doing now. And it comes also when we get the roster, because the roster is a bigger standpoint, because with 24 racers, you're going to need a lot of characters. And I think this Mario Kart game is going to feature a lot more characters than what we had from 8 Deluxe. It's going to be much bigger. And I think this also opens compatibility with alternate skins and costumes as well from Tour. Except it will be a little bit better and more perspective. Because we also saw Donkey Kong getting a weird transformation to his very old classic version, or the Super Mario Bros. Movie version as well, which means that I think it could be secret enough to also give specific characters specific skins. You know, characters like Tanuki Mario and Cat Peach would probably be actual costumes for Mario and Peach, in the process being. And then there's actual character, and then we know most of the Koopalings will return, the baby characters, most of the villains, and some other sidelines, but there's also a big concern on first-party Nintendo characters. Some of those first-party Nintendo characters don't have like a rare 50-50 shot to appear again, but that's if their tracks return, specifically from what Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has offered specifically, you know, like Hyrule Circuit and the Animal Crossing and 2 of the Mute City F-Zero tracks and Excite Back Arena. I don't know about these 5 particular. There's a chance that they may not show up because they're not from the Mario franchise, and they just show up as like first-party Nintendo guest characters to appear in the series. Unexpectedly, there'll also be third-party characters, you know, like Sonic, Mega Man, Pac-Man, Rayman, Crash Bandicoot, and Banjo-Kazooie, just to name a few. But those are slightly. I don't know if they'll actually do something like this in this new Mario Kart title. But this also decreases our speculation ideas for Captain Falcon to appear in the next Mario Kart or something. Sorry, F-Zero fans, it's just not it. Oh, but hopefully you guys get a new F-Zero in Switch 2. Today, we mostly will focus on the emphasis on retro tracks. Because although we have a new Nitro track, which, as few YouTubers pointed out, Blue398, Shakerless Productions, and a few other iconic YouTubers pointing out that the new retro track almost looks like Radiator Springs, because Cars reference. Everyone loves Cars. Everyone does. But in terms of retro tracks, this opens opportunities of what we can do now. This actually now puts up in a debate with in terms of the courses we now have in the 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass, but now it opens better suggestions. People have even made charts of what is considered a remake or what has gotten a remake a second time, specifically. This even opens up lands of what tracks need to appear in the next Mario Kart versus the ones that deserve a second remake treatment. But then there's like people who want to see the track a third time, except those are just hot takes, and which I think some specific tracks that appear in the Booster Course Pass a second time should not return for a third time. And because we now live in a selection where there's now 48 tracks in this roster now. At first it was like 32 tracks, but now with the addition of this secret 4 DLC, this also opens opportunities for what the next Mario Kart 8 retro tracks to appear, since we now have endless opportunities for what 8's 16 nitro tracks can really bring that deserve a remake for the first time in so long. I will be going through these specific Mario Kart titles in order of who deserves to be in the retro track selection and which will be perfect for the chosen 24. Starting off with the first Mario Kart game, Super Mario Kart, with most of its tracks not being as interesting and just being a replicate to the previous track they already did. But to brainstorm this, we have to notice that Mario Circuit 1, Donut Plains 1, Koopa Beach 2, Choco Island 2, Ghost Valley 2, Mario Circuit 3, Mario Circuit 2, Rainbow Road, Donut Plains 3, and Bowser Castle 3 have all been given a remake treatment. However, I will point the big elephant in the room, Mario Circuit 3. This track particularly has 2 remakes, one in Mario Kart Wii and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. So it's clear to say this track particularly will never come back a third time. So that is already a removal in this retro track selection. As for the others, they're likely, just unlikely, to appear as a second time remake treatment. But I do see the opportunities if they do some big changes, like add new obstacles or add the special ability of boost panels and stuff to make it, at least make it more interesting. Maybe they add new mechanics to this. Some of those retro tracks could really be upgraded, since we now be able to do stunts on specific bumps and stuff. That was like during like Double Dash and DS eras. They could really do some big changes to these old tracks, so we can have in a modern setting that would make it really interesting to pull off. Another one being SNES Rainbow Road also has received 2 remakes, one in Mario Kart 7 and one in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, specifically the DLC, and then transferring to Deluxe. Also is not coming back. But now this leaves us with 10 retro tracks left, and those 10 being Ghost Valley 1, Bowser Castle 1, Choco Island 1, Donut Plains 2, Bowser Castle 2, Koopa Beach 1, Vanilla Lake 1 and 2, Ghost Valley 3, and Mario Circuit 4. Now, in terms of which one is going to get this remake treatment, I don't know, because I never played any of these tracks. But these tracks particularly seem great to at least receive a remake. Although it's going to be difficult to have like one track specific, because it's pretty much what Nintendo's going to do. They're pretty much just going to add one track from this game, since it's pretty boring, judging by the layouts, and they just do it. And I mean, they've done this with Tour with their Nitro tracks, you know? So I think Ghost Valley is the likely. Bowser Castle 1 is probably a negative, and maybe the same thing applies to Choco Island and Donut Plains 2. And although Bowser Castle 2 seems a little interesting, kinda, although I feel like they should do a big change with the stop area if they want to do like a specific shortcut on this. I think there's a way they can turn this into a shortcut for the track. That would make it really big, and it could really change this track entirely. They could turn the lamest track layout into the best layout possible. I see this possibly happening. Then there's Koopa Beach 1. Well, considering how spread out of water is, and they could just have the new water technique, I don't know what they could actually do with this. It doesn't seem quite interesting. It's probably lame anyway. Now, Vanilla Lake hasn't received a remake for the first or second at all, because they haven't gotten this remake at all. And then you have Mario Circuit 4. It's clear that we almost have every Mario Circuit track in the retro track selection. Mario Kart DS has Mario Circuit 1. Mario Kart Wii and the Booster Course Pass have Mario Circuit 3. And Mario Kart 7 has Mario Circuit 2. Maybe in this new Mario Kart, it's likely we're going to get Mario Circuit 4 100%. Because it's that accurate. Besides, it looks like a really good track. judging by the looks of this map layout, it's really great. I think it deserves this remake treatment, 100%. As for Ghost Valley 2 or 3, it's a slight maybe, maybe not, as long as they can let you do tricks off some of the slopes or curves, or make it do drifts and all that. Think of ways to make it interesting. Some of the gaps are interesting, but just not as well fitted as they should. Up next is Mario Kart 64, in which their retro track selection is pretty substantial, although only 2 retro tracks have only received a second remake treatment, while the rest only have received 1, which is so far. Those tracks being by the likes of Moo Farm, Frappe Snowland, Chocolate Mountain, Choco Mountain, and Banshee Boardwalk, Mario Raceway, Sherbert Land, DK Jungle Parkway, Bowser Castle, Luigi Raceway, Koopa Troopa Beach, Calamari Desert, Royal Raceway, Toad's Turnpike, Yoshi Valley, and Rainbow Road. All that's just left is the simply and yet most majestic Wario Stadium. This is the last and final Mario Kart 64 track to never receive a remake, in which honestly, I think in this new Mario Kart game, this would be the course that deserves the most praise, most of all. In fact, if we're talking about retro tracks that could come back a second time, well, it's no consideration that both Choco Mountain and Calamari Desert are out of the picture because they've already received their second remakes. But in terms of tracks that could receive their second remake, the likeness of either Moo Farm, Frappe Snowland, Banshee Boardwalk, Royal Raceway, Sherbert Land, DK Jungle Parkway, Bowser Castle, Luigi Raceway, Koopa Troopa Beach, Toad Turnpike, Royal Raceway, Yoshi, and Yoshi Valley, to make that, or even Rainbow Road could return again in some form of DLC or something. I don't know, but it's just a likeness if they were to make another Booster Course Pass. But it's most likely that they will more likely make Wario Stadium the only specific Mario Kart 64 track to get this remake. And up next, we have Mario Kart Super Circuit, the game that has gotten more attention in the Booster Course Pass than the average Mario Kart Wii. But here, this is a very strange selection, because considering that there's not many tracks that haven't received the remake, although there is a bunch of tracks that have received this remake, and those being Peach Circuit, Bowser Castle 1, 2, Luigi Circuit, Sky Garden, Shy Guy Beach, Bowser Castle 3, Bowser Castle 1, Mario Circuit, Cheeseland, Ribbon Road, Snowland, Boo Lake, Riverside Park, and Sunset Wilds. But there's only a resistance of only 6 tracks to receive a remake as playable in the next Mario Kart. Those only being Cheep Cheep Island, Yoshi Desert, Lakeside Park, Broken Pier, Bowser Castle 4, and Rainbow Road. Those 6 chosen honestly could deserve this remake treatment 100%, considering of how some of these tracks are considered difficult, while the others are also enjoyable for the starters. Now, when it comes to specific tracks that have received a remake like around a second time, Sky Garden is out of the picture, because although they are very different variations of the track, it's still considered a remake per se. As for the rest, though, they only have received 1 remake, and that's that 1 remake alone. There's a chance that maybe some of these following retro tracks could maybe get their second remake treatment, but it's unlikely for that statement to appear. And now we move on to Mario Kart Double Dash. Most of the tracks here have already received a remake finally, and most of them being like Luigi Circuit, Baby Park, Mushroom Bridge, Yoshi Circuit, Peach Beach, Waluigi Stadium, Mario Circuit, DK Mountain, Daisy Cruiser, Dino Jungle, Dry Desert, and Sherbert Land. Not to mention, I will point this out, that both Baby Park and Yoshi Circuit have received double remake treatment, first in the DS and then in 8 as the DLC. And now, honestly, I think it's obvious how both Yoshi Circuit and Baby Park are not coming back. Mostly Baby Park, because as many fans would be desperate for another Baby Park on the 4th time, with it being more chaotic as people love the track for how it's meant to be, I just don't see the appeal applying for it to appear in a 3rd time basis. It's just not worth it. There are better tracks. Especially when it comes to a game with 24 players, there are still better retro track selections to do with 24 racers in the process. So those can go. Waluigi Stadium can also go. DK Mountain can also go. Even Daisy Cruiser. Most of these tracks particularly have all received a second remake treatment, except for Luigi Circuit, Mushroom Bridge, Peach Beach, Mario Circuit, Dino Dino Jungle, Dry Dry Desert, and Sherbert Land. These have a possibility of getting the second treatment, although maps like Dry Dry Desert and Sherbert Land are a pass, while maps like Dino Dino Jungle, Peach Beach, Mushroom Bridge, and Mario Circuit or Luigi Circuit have a chance to get this second remake treatment in the process. In terms of tracks that have never received a remake, there's only 4, and they're the best ones too. Those being Wario Coliseum, Mushroom City, Bowser's Castle, and Rainbow Road. Out of these following, I think it's obvious how Wario Coliseum could deserve this, even though it's like 2 laps long. Although there is still opportunities you can make this more interesting. The same thing could even apply to Mushroom City as well, and the addition of making of Bowser Castle and Rainbow Road. In terms of a final lap track, GCM Rainbow Road could really suit it, or GBA Rainbow Road from Super Circuit, but I think both of them could really work well as a finale or separate. Maybe there could be a chance for any of them to also appear as DLC. And there's also Bowser Castle because, you know, there has to be more Bowser Castles than just one. Because in 8, there was rarely any, specifically only 1 or more. And then afterwards, I think that's about as far as you can get for Double Dash. I would appreciate if we end up getting either Wario Coliseum, Bowser Castle, or Rainbow Road in the process. It'd be really awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, and here we are with Mario Kart DS. One of my first ever Mario Kart games I ever played. And in terms of the retro tracks here, there is a good selection here. In terms of retro tracks, we have Yoshi Falls, Delfino Square, Desert Hills, Peach Gardens, Luigi's Mansion or Boston Building, Waluigi Pinball, DK Pass, Airship Fortress, Cheep Cheep Beach, Wario Stadium, Tick-Tock Clock, Shroom Ridge, and Mario Circuit. Well, one thing's for certain is that Waluigi Pinball is going bye-bye. I don't want to see this track a third time, and it deserves, and there are better map choices to pick. The same thing could apply to Peach Gardens, because as much as it is a fan favorite in Mario Kart Wii, it's not coming back again as well. So that's also a dismissal. And in terms of other tracks, there are most not much actually. Although I could see, in terms of a second remake appeal, Yoshi Falls could really get the streaming because of the music. Delfino Square also because of the music. Maybe even Desert Hills, but that's a slight. Boston Building, aka Luigi's Mansion, has a chance to also appear as a second remake track. He could have made it to the Booster Course Pass, but it never happened. Instead, we got something replaced by Mario Circuit of all tracks. Many fans have been crushed by their dreams of wanting either Luigi's Mansion or an Airship Fortress. So I think it's obvious that Mario Circuit's not going anywhere. Maybe Shroom Ridge could possibly get a second remake treatment. And in terms of other tracks like DK Pass or Cheep Cheep Beach and Wario Stadium are unlikely. Although maps like Yoshi Falls, Delfino Square, and Desert Hills will possibly get the second remake treatment. Same thing for Luigi's Mansion, Boston Building, or Airship Fortress. Many people really wanted Airship Fortress for the Booster Course Pass, and unfortunate. Now, if this does happen to get a second remake treatment, that will be the last time we'll ever get to see this track, once again, from fans alone. And then there's only 3 tracks left that haven't received a remake. And those tracks receiving Figure 8 Circuit, Bowser Castle, and Rainbow Road. The Figure 8 Circuit could honestly be a perfect for the Shell Cup, because I think it will work perfect as a beginner cup, especially when you have 24 racers. I think it's basic to have the track in the shape of Figure 8. It would be perfect. It'd be the best lane starter courses in Mario Kart. But I think this would be funny. It would be funny if they put this track in the new Mario Kart, just so it could troll people for a bit, just like a Toad Circuit sort of thing. But it's perfect. It could work. It could be funny. It could be good for trolling. I see this map appealing to a lot. I think this would be the best DS track to receive a remake. As for other ones, like between a Bowser Castle or Rainbow Road, the Rainbow Road for the DS is perfect because of loop-de-loops and the big turns and all that. They'd be great, although I would see the appeal if they actually give it more attention and do some new tricks with it. I mean, they could really emphasize on the anti-gravity. As for the Bowser Castle in the DS, it looks great, but although it's not much, because there's not much appeal to the track, Although they could change it up. They could maybe add the glider feature if they could, to make it more interesting, so you could go through this area by gliding through and all that sort of thing. And with that, we move on to my second played Mario Kart game, Mario Kart Wii. And from the Nitro Track selection, we have Mushroom Gorge, Coconut Mall, Maple Treeway, Koopa Cave, Moo Moo Meadows, Grumble Volcano, Wario's Gold Mine, DK Summit, DK Snowboard, Moonview Highway, Daisy Circuit, and Rainbow Road specifically. And as a notice, in terms of others, like Luigi, Mario Circuit, Dry Ruins, Bowser Castle, and Toad Factory. One thing's to know is that Mushroom Gorge, Coconut Mall, Maple Treeway, and Koopa Cape are not coming back. Considering that all 4 of those tracks particularly showed up in both Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which means that they are not coming back a third time, meaning the chances of them appearing again with the 24 racer game is not likely to happen. However, in terms of the specific retro tracks that could come back a second time, Moo Moo Meadows and Grumble Volcano, Wario's Gold Mine, DK Summit, Moonview Highway, Daisy Circuit, and Rainbow Road are likely to show up as DLC. And in terms of the tracks that have never received a remake, and they are from the likes of Luigi and Mario Circuit, Dry Ruins, Bowser's Castle, and Toad's Factory. Toad's Factory is a major fan favorite that everyone wants. Aside from Coconut Mall and the other iconic ones like Maple Treeway and Koopa Cave and Mushroom Gorge, this is a major popular one. This is another Booster Course Pass reject next to Airship Fortress from DS, and I think this is a deserved spot for them to appear because I know fans really love Toad's Factory more than any other track besides the suggested ones from 7. Maybe one of the circuits, either Mario or Luigi circuit, can make it appear as also a starter track, in which I think it would be really suitable for like the Shell Cup, either for one of them. Plus, for Luigi Circuit, it could be a new Luigi track, or for Mario, another Mario form track. And then Dry Ruins, it was another also rejected Nitro track that was meant to appear in the Booster Course Pass, but it was replaced by Moonview Highway, which honestly is for the better because Moonview Highway has never been remade before, and even if Dry Ruins was to take that spot, Moonview Highway would have to be in that category of rejected Nitro retro tracks. And as for Bowser's Castle, I mean, we need more Bowser Castles. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe tends to have more Rainbow Roads than Bowser's Castles. I mean, if you look at the entirety of Mario Kart 8's Deluxe Rainbow Road selection, they have a total of not 3, not 4, but somewhere around the range of 5 Rainbow Roads. You have the base Rainbow Road that is a Nitro track, and then you have N64 Rainbow Road, SNES Rainbow Road, 3DS Rainbow Road, and Wii Rainbow Road. That's 5 Rainbow Roads. In fact, one of the Rainbow Roads has gotten its second remake, while the rest have only gotten their first remake. Having them appear again would be strange. And in terms of the Bowser Castles, it should be something different and unique for themselves, too. And I think the Bowser Castle here could really work out perfectly for it as well. Mario Kart 5 and 6 to Mario Kart 7. This is, of course, a selection where it's still a bit new, but still a lot of Nitro tracks that could be turned into retro tracks, in the process being, and those of true retro tracks being 3DS DK Jungle Music Park or Melody Motorway, Piranha Plant Slide, Mio Bowser City, Koopa City, Toad Circuit, Rock Mountain, Alpine Pass, and 3DS Rainbow Road, and Rosalina's Ice World. Most of these tracks have received a remake for the first time, and mostly seeing most of these following retro tracks come again a second time are likely to either appear as DLC for a second time. Most of the likeness. I mean, most of them do have the capacity for it. There's not as much as they should have obtained. But in terms of the retro tracks left, there's only, we got Daisy Hills, Cheep Lagoon, Shy Guy Bazaar, Mario Circuit, Wario Shipyard or Wario's Galilean, and Bowser's Castle, and of course the 2 Wii stages, of course, and those being Woohoo Loop and Maka Woohoo. Now, I feel like these 2, despite being the greatest tracks in 7, probably are getting a hard pass for this, because if Maka Woohoo is getting in, then Woohoo Loop has to get in as well. And I think it would just have to make 2 spots for 3DS just so both Maka Woohoo and Woohoo Loop to appear. And then it would just not make that much sense at all. Although, in terms of Daisy Hills, this could be a really good track to put as a remake, too. I can really see the potential of them doing some big changes with the track. And the same thing could even apply to Shy Guy Bazaar and Wario Shipyard. These could be really good tracks for them to remake. I see the potential, and especially with the music as well, and upgrading the layout and adding new features, maybe a little bit of an additional anti-gravity as well. That could really work for this as potential. Even Mario Circuit. This is one of the best Mario Circuit tracks of all time, and because most Mario Circuit tracks have always been pretty lame, pretty boring, and pretty starter beginner. And at least this one could be really unique in like some sort of a banana cup in a way. I think it could really work for that in a way. And as for Bowser Castle, I mean, we need more Bowser Castles. I mean, sure, it's not the best. It's like compared to the DS Bowser Castle, but I think it could be really good to have as a remake. Really well. I could see such potential opportunities, or as DLC in a way. And as for Cheep Cheep Lagoon, I'm not seeing any potential with this, although it's likely not gonna get a remake treatment, or maybe will, but as like a DLC or something. But it could work something out with it. And last but not least is the only Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Specifically the ones where this time we are open to all 16 retro tracks of the entire Nitro tracks of 16 of them. From all of them. And we could get to pick which specific Nitro tracks could really deserve the remake treatment. And most of them, all the tracks themselves are already as unique as possible. But only a minimum will get to appear as a remake in the new Mario Kart game. And there was a lot. In terms of what I see, there was a bunch of good ones. And from what I see, in terms of the Mushroom Cup, tracks like Water Park, Sweet Sweet Canyon, and Thwop Ruins have the possibility of getting this remake. Mario Kart Stadium can stay as it is, although it could get a remake later on in another future, like DLC, or maybe in another Mario Kart title for Switch 2, maybe. But who knows? Flower Cup, well, of course, this entire selection looks really remake possible. Toad Harbor, Twisted Mansion, Shy Guy Falls, and maybe Mario Circuit have the chance to appear and get this remake treatment. It would look really great and unique to have it and get this remake treatment. I could see them do big changes with the mechanic of the gas or special wonder effects, or I don't know what they could do. And then there's the Star Cup, which this entire track is also very remake dependable. I mean, Sunshine Airport, Dolphin Shoals, Electrodrome, and Mount Wario, they're all great selections. I really like this. These could be really good selections for a good remix to get in. Somewhere between, yes, Sunshine Airport, Dolphin Shoals, and Electrodrome. Mount Wario, however, is like a slight 50-50 because it's a 3-lap setup, similar to what they did with N64 Rainbow Road by giving it that format, or the Maku Woohoo or Woohoo Loo. And for the Special Cup, most of it is only going to Cloud Top Cruise and maybe Bowser's Castle. Other maps like Bone Dry Dunes and Rainbow Road are not likely to appear as the remake, but maybe in a future DLC as a lame specific track they want to pick. But honestly, I think that's all of it. But that's not all. That is not it yet, because we also have the 4 specific tracks courses from the specific 8 DLC cups, and those being from the likes of the Dragon Driftway, Ice Ice Outpost, Wildwoods, Super Bell Subway, in addition to Yoshi's Island and Squeaky Clean Sprint. Now, Dragon Driftway would be really cool, but I just don't see the appeal of it getting a remake, but there's a slight 50-50 chance I could see it happening. Ice Ice Outpost and Wildwoods are a slight maybe. They also probably get, but are very likely to happen. Although Super Bell Subway is very possible and very likely to get this remake treatment. I could see them doing something different of how they could use the subway trains on this area and expand, like similar to like Grand Central Station or something on like the train stations. Like there could be more than just 2 subway trains in the process. And of course, the 2 really good and new Nitro tracks on the Booster Course Pass being Yoshi's Island and Squeaky Clean Sprint, or Accelerado Toilet. The Yoshi's Island particularly could be great because, I mean, hey, they managed to put 3DS DK Jungle in Mario Kart 8, so I think they could do the same thing with Yoshi's Island for the new Mario Kart. And I think it could really work well. I mean, also it's Yoshi's Island. You can't it's another form of first party Nintendo property that's in the Mario universe. Yoshi is canon in the Mario universe, same thing for what Wario and Donkey Kong are in their own universes, but are still canon to Mario specifically. As for Squeaky Clean Sprint, I could really see them maybe expand more on the bathroom. Because there are some cool things about the bathroom track. It's just, I wish they could expand more upon it. I mean, we see them go through the sink, we see them in the bathtub, we see them get the toilet flushing open and some other cool things. But what if there was like more cool features to see or explore the bathroom course? I could really see them expanding up, but not too much on it, because that'd be just way too expensive. I could see them do big changes. Maybe they could add more Easter egg references on this track, and it could really work very well for this type of course. Additional bonus, and that being the battle courses. Considering that maybe the next new Mario Kart is likely to bring back battle mode in terms of the usual balloon battle, coin rush, and the other significant Mario Kart 8 battle modes that weren't in the rest, I could see them bringing it back. And most importantly, in terms of the retro courses, since we're also going to maybe get new Nitro battle courses. But in terms of the battle courses we'll get for retro, here's what I think. It's pretty easy, pretty simple. We're going to do a quick round on this. For Super Mario Kart, it's going to be between either Battle Course 2 or Battle Course 3, because neither of them had received the remake. But if I were to choose between either of them, I stick with either Battle Course 2. Battle Course 3 could be maybe for DLC in the process. Mario Kart 64, Double Deck, Mario Kart Super Circuit, Battle Course 2, or Battle Course 4. Normally, I would go with somewhere like the Battle Course 2 or Battle Course 4. Because we now have it like a sand type of battle course. But I think Battle Course 2 would really work well. Although Battle Course 4 could also work as a form of DLC. For Mario Kart Double Dash, Block City, and Tilt-A-Kart. I think Tilt-A-Kart would be the best suggestion for a base. And then for the Block City could really work as its own perspective as also DLC. But maybe it's not likely to happen because there's also Block Fort or Block Plaza from Mario Kart Wii that was turned into it. Mario Kart DS, Tartop. This is the only specific battle course that has never received a remake at all. Then for Mario Kart Wii, none of these following battle courses have never received a remake at all. But and it comes down between Delfino Pier, Funky Stadium, Chain Chomp Wheel, or Chain Chomp Roulette, and Thwomp Desert. And I think the best option would be Funky Stadium, most likely, because, I mean, it's Funky Kong. I think it's possible for Funky Kong to maybe return to the game in the new Mario Kart. But if he doesn't, then this wouldn't be the track, and we would have to get either maybe like Delfino Pier or Thwomp Desert as a really good track. I think it really work well. Some of the other tracks could work as DLC. As for Mario Kart 7, there's only Sherbet Rink and Honeybee Hive. Mostly I pick Honeybee Hive unless they want or don't want to bring back the Honey Queen from Galaxy, but it's just an idea. And then for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, we think of Dragon Palace. Now, sure, the average person would pick somewhere between the vanilla Battle Stadium or Sweet Sweet Kingdom, but there's a chance if we could maybe get Sweet Sweet Canyon as a remake track, as a retro track, but don't get Sweet Sweet Kingdom as a battle course, or we get Sweet Sweet Kingdom as a battle course, but don't get Sweet Sweet Canyon as a retro track. That's sort of in that same processing. And I won't even care if we even get Lunar Colony as also a battle course. I mean, it's space theme, but you get the idea of where this goes. But maybe this could involve mostly just 8 random retro battle courses to fit, while also having 8 new Nitro battle courses in the way being. And with that, I hope you enjoyed the predictions video. And for the time being, stay tuned for the next future videos, bigger videos that I will do later on in terms of predicting the big roster for the new Mario Kart game, Mario Kart 9, 10, X, whatever it will be called, along with the upcoming predictions video for the Mario 40th anniversary. I think this is going to be Mario's special time this around. While Thomas has its 80th anniversary with something different, it will be something different and unique of its own perspective. And the other video, of course, being the fate of the Just Dance franchise. Because it's starting to not go in a good route ever since we got the calendar reveal for 2025, even with the success of being such a great title of 2025. But the calendar, if you're just by looking at your screen, you will see it in a future video on what will be next. But anyways, thanks for watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. And I'm off to make the next Thomas Fiends for the next few videos on the time being. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.